Sunday on Denver 7.
There's simply no excuse for it, and unfortunately, it far too often results in tragedy.
A community is in pain this morning after two teens were killed in a car accident this weekend. What changes are coming for back-to-school plans in one metro school district? It's a weather action day. Just how much rain you can expect to see in your neighborhood, and if you need to brace for some flooding. Happy birthday to you. And a little later, the special birthday message from one Colorado sailor that could be heard and seen from miles away. It is 9 a.m. right now, so let's get started with a look at the sunrise. Happy Sunday to you. I'm Jessica Crawford, and I am here with meteorologist Stacy Donaldson. And Stacy, there is a flood watch in effect.
Well, it goes into effect at 2 o'clock this afternoon, lasts until 11 o'clock tonight. We're expecting heavy rain later on today, but it's beautiful out there this morning. However, it is a little muggy. We have a front that's stalled out here across the Front Range, and that's what's going to keep all of that rain coming over us later on. So heavy thunderstorms expected into this afternoon and this evening. This flood watch in effect all the way from Fort Collins down into southern Colorado. It does include the entire metro area and parts of the eastern plain. So we could see from 2 to 11 p.m., 1 to 3 inches of rain in less than an hour. So creeks and streams, areas like that may flood here for our region. If you have any low-lying areas in your neighborhood, be very aware that flooding may be a potential today, especially from Denver down toward Pueblo. That's where we're expecting most of the heavy rain pushing on through. Our temperatures, they're cooler today, but it is still very muggy out there. Temperatures will stay in the 80s through 4 o'clock, 70s after that, but we're expecting those heavy showers to develop later on today.
Cleanup is underway and thankfully power back on for folks in Brighton this morning. Those fast-moving storms brought on some real damage. You can see from the video here. This is from yesterday afternoon along 4th and 6th Avenues near Bridge Street. Late last night, United Power reported that all of their customers' power had been turned back on after hours of blackouts. We're following some breaking news out of Wheat Ridge this morning. A shelter-in-place order is now lifted in a neighborhood off Sheridan and 26th Avenue. Police say a suspect pointed a gun at a person in a car off 27th and Depew, stole a car, then crashed the vehicle. Police also say the suspect then ran from the scene. Officers do know who that suspect is, but they're still searching for him. If you have any information, contact police. And here are some other headlines that we're following for your Sunday. Fort Collins police need your help finding an armed burglary suspect. Police say the suspect walked into the 7-Eleven off West Horsetooth Road yesterday afternoon with a semi-automatic rifle. The suspect then yelled at customers to leave the store while the clerks remained inside. The suspect allegedly waved his gun at the employees until they gave him money from the cash registers. He then left the store. Fort Collins PD says the suspect is a black man less than 6 feet tall, weighing about 150 pounds. His face was partially covered during the incident. If you have any information, call Fort Collins Police. Tri-County Health helped celebrate Pride in Aurora this weekend. They offered monkeypox vaccines. The health department says they wanted to help high-risk groups get vaccinated as soon as possible. And right now, the limited supply of vaccines is only available to those who have been exposed and men who have had sex with men. As of Friday, Colorado has had at least 80 monkeypox cases. The school board at large for Denver Public Schools is starting to meet with parents today. The board says that they're ready to address declining enrollment, school safety, and more. Their meeting today is at the Montclair Rec Center, and it started just a few minutes ago at 9 a.m. This week is supposed to be an exciting time, heading back to school for a new year of learning and making memories. But one Douglas County community is hurting this morning. Two teens are now dead after a fatal car crash late on Friday night. Police are now accusing a man of driving under the influence. Denver 7's Christian Lopez reports from Douglas County this morning to tell us more about these teens.
It is an unimaginable loss for their friends and families. School officials say there will be counselors available starting Tuesday. That is when students are returning for the 2022 school year. We now know the names of the two teens killed in the crash, Colton Bellamy and Audrey Todd. Two more teens were hurt. This all happened late Friday night. Police say the 4 teens, all 17 years old, were driving north on I-25 frontage road in Castle Rock just before midnight when they were hit by 25-year-old Ricky Avalos Trujillo. He is now behind bars accused of driving under the influence. Officials say during the summer months, that is when there are more activities going on and when they tend to see an increase in people driving under the influence, and say there is no excuse for it.
And unfortunately, it far too often results in tragedy, whether it's for the individual that makes that decision or, unfortunately, as seems to be the case here, other people that pay the price for a very, very poor decision.
One of the teens is in serious condition, and the principal at Castleview High School says in addition to counselors this week, there will also be changes to the schedule. We'll let you know once we get those updates. Reporting in Castle Rock, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Christian, thank you. And while we wait for those updated plans from Dougco, here's a look at the start dates for other schools. Aurora and Adams 14 start school Tuesday. 27J and Greeley Evans start this upcoming Thursday, and our largest districts, Jeffco and Denver, start later in the month. And this is a live look at the Senate floor in our nation's capital this morning. Lawmakers busy there, working tirelessly all weekend to pass the single biggest investment in clean energy our nation has ever seen. ABC's Christine Sloan reports.
The Senate working around the clock this weekend on what's being called the Inflation Reduction Act. The bill makes the single biggest investment in clean energy in the nation's history, allows Medicare to negotiate some prescription drug prices, sets a $2,000 annual cap on out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors, and locks in a minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. Support for the bill is split along party lines, with Democrats in support and Republicans in opposition.
It is absolutely imperative that we show the American people that we are capable of representing the needs of ordinary people.
We're about to pile misery on top of misery. We're about to increase gas taxes at a time you can't afford it.
The Senate voted to begin debate Saturday evening after Vice President Kamala Harris cast a tie-breaking vote in favor.
The Vice President votes in the affirmative and the motion to proceed is agreed to.
After 4 hours of debate, the Senate began a process known as vote-a-rama, voting on dozens of proposed amendments to the bill before a final vote.
Please support this amendment.
I would urge my colleagues to vote no on the amendment.
Using a special budget process, Democrats need just 51 votes or a simple majority for it to pass. No Republicans have said they'll support it. With midterms just 3 months away, Democrats are hoping to get this to President Biden's desk quickly, but the measure would also have to pass the House. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
A busy night in Wheat Ridge. You're looking at photos posted by the Wheat Ridge Police Department from the scene where a 15-year-old teen took her parents' car for a joyride after midnight. Police say the teen crashed the car at a high speed into a brick wall at the Collier Hospice Center, barely missing generator and water lines. She's facing several charges, including DUI charges. People who've lost everything to catastrophic flooding are now being denied federal help. How Kentucky's governor is working directly with FEMA to help those who need it the most. Plus, wolves tend to run in their own packs, but there is one group who needs your help after the pandemic stripped them of so many important resources.